Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Startup Stories. My name is John Lorenzo. I'm the owner here at 22 Creative. And today I'm super excited to have our guest, Kevin Diduch of KD Law. How you doing, Kev?
Hey, John, great to be here. Thanks for having me. Appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. So I'm super excited to learn more about your startup story. I know a little bit about you, but I'm super excited for you to tell that story to our viewers here. Before we get started, Kev, can you tell our viewers the best way to connect with you?
Probably the best way to reach me would be by going to my website, kdlawgroupllc.com, or to find me on LinkedIn or Facebook, Kevin Diduch, or find me on Instagram, KD Law Group LLC.
Boom. And we're going to have all those links in the caption. So no worries trying to write that down during this video. So Kev, let's get the show on the road, huh?
Hey, better time than ever.
So Kev, tell us your startup story. It's a unique one. I love hearing it.
So I have a little bit of a different background than some other lawyers. I started primarily in creditors' rights, working at a time when the financial industry was starting to crash. Wanted to find a job. Actually, thought I was going to become a paralegal. So I went to Barnes and Noble, looked in their Careers for Dummies sections, found a book, Paralegal Careers for Dummies. Read the first chapter. Paralegals help attorneys do this. They help attorneys do that. Said to myself, why don't I just become a lawyer? And the only place that was hiring at the time were foreclosure firms. So I got my feet wet there. Knew I always wanted to get involved in real estate in some capacity. Never thought that I was going to have my own real estate law firm by the time I was practicing law for a little over 6 years, but here I am. Worked as a law clerk for a law firm while I went to school at night. So I would get up from 7 o'clock in the morning, work until about 4, go to school in Wilmington because I'm a Widener Law grad, from about 6 to 10, get home about 11 o'clock because I lived in Mount Laurel at the time. And I would do that about 3-4 times a week, and became editor-in-chief of the Law Review while I was in the process. So lots of fun, great time for me. I used to see some of the kids come in and say, oh my God, I have such a hard time because I've got to get up by 9 and be in class until 2. And when I wasn't trying to stop myself from smacking them, I was saying like, life's not so bad. So if you tell me now I got to work like a 50-hour work week, I'm okay with that.
That feels like part-time, huh?
It is a little bit of a part-time schedule. It is a little bit of a part-time schedule.
You are no stranger to the grind. I know that for sure.
No. That's kind of why I fell in love with coffee, believe it or not, because
There you go.
speaking of grinds, right? Fell in love with coffee because as I was going through the process, I lived off of coffee.
Same.
Coffee and the love of family and friends. A lot of encouragement along the way. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be who or where I am today, for sure.
There you go. Well, speaking of family, was family a contributor to the tipping point? What was the tipping point that said, you know what, Kevin, now is the time to start KD Law? There's no time better than right now.
You know, I have 2 young daughters, and I have a wife, a very supportive wife, who, when she's not rolling her eyes at my really bad dad jokes, she's telling me that she wants to work regardless of whatever financial position we're in, right?
Yeah.
So she's the modern American woman, the working mom. And for her, she wants to set that example for the girls. I also want to set that example for them and give them the ability and the example to know that they can go out there and start a career on their own. And they don't have to rely on somebody else.
Yeah.
So the tipping point for me was, in addition to coming to the realization that where I was not a good fit for me, was also realizing that there was no better time than to tap into my network It's almost came a lot faster than I thought it was going to come.
I remember.
Um, because for me, I knew that I was making friends.
Hmm.
Some people call it connections. I really consider it friends. Maybe that's the pseudo South Philly Italian in me. I'm 100% Metagon. My wife's the Italian, but I
Yeah.
got a friend of mine. It's a phrase that comes out of my mouth more often than I'd like to admit. And I have to tell you, through that process of building a network, the more and more I went through that process, the more people got to know me, the more I got to know them. And learning the value of the long-term relationship is what got me to realize that I had the base
You did.
to where I could just not sit back, but rely on my network to feed me referrals and provide that quality service to them, and then have the expectation that I could I could call on my network every now and again if I needed some help.
And you were aware that people did business with you. You were an employee at the time, but you knew, you were self-aware that these people did business with you because they knew you, they liked you, they trusted you. It didn't matter what name was on the building. So making that switch to KD Law Group, that just unlocked your full potential.
Nobody was doing business with me because they said, "Oh, you're with so and so."
Right.
In fact, I found out that it was actually a bit of a deterrent who I was with.
Mhm.
In addition to that, being an idiot, the reputation that person had was just such that it wasn't productive for me to continue with them,
Yeah.
to the point where it was better off for me to go on my own. It was
Agreed.
almost like breaking up with a girl and finding out from your friends how ugly she is after the fact. And it's like, well, how come you guys didn't tell me? Like, I've been with this girl for so long, and nobody said anything. It's
Oh my
like, well, hey,
God.
come on, you were in love. Nobody was going to tell you anything. It's like, well,
Ah,
Jesus Christ, I found it on my own way.
ah.
First guy ever.
Well, Kev, let's get to our next question here. So at 22 Creative, we like to say our superpower is the simple yet creative marketing solutions we provide to our clients. What would you say KD Law Group's superpower is?
Humor through adversity and a steady hand. So for
Ah,
me, clients come to me knowing and expecting that they have a problem.
mhm.
So instead of me sitting on a high horse, like some attorneys do, some attorneys expect this pomp and circumstance to follow them down the streets of Haddonfield.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that from me. In fact, I'm waiting for them to figure out just how badly I don't belong in Haddonfield. Um, for me, it's making sure that clients understand that we're on the same level. We're in this together, right? That's why if you go to my website, it's one of the first things you see. We're in this together because I have problems too, um, just like they have problems. So finding ways to not just make them understand that I can relate to them, but
Mhm.
also at the same time show them by way of example that I'm not afraid to fight the battles that they're afraid to fight. And it's that steady hand, it's that unwavering hand
Yeah.
that really led me to get a bit of a following with some folks because I'm not afraid to go to court.
No.
I fight a battle every day with my wife. She's Italian. So, I mean, the whole fact that
You're
I,
used
I
to it.
became a lawyer just for the opportunity to win an argument outside of my house.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's awesome. At 22, our why is to create stronger small business community. And we do that to empower our clients with marketing tools and knowledge. What is the why behind KD Law?
My why is my family.
I knew that was coming.
110%. 110%. Um, if it was not for my family and my girls and all three of them, my two daughters and my wife, I would not be who I am. It could have gone one of two ways. When I had my first daughter, you know, she softened me so badly that it was so needed.
Uh-huh.
And I'm very proud to be a girl dad.
Yeah, I know
And
you are.
I wear that badge
With
with a
honor,
lot of
right.
honor. And the way that I look at it, I want to protect my clients as much as I want to protect my family,
That's
because to me, my clients are family.
That is huge. Love that response. Kev, as we close here, what would be one piece of advice that you would give to somebody who is thinking about taking that leap of faith and becoming an entrepreneur and starting their startup? Is there anything that you could share with them that is like one piece of advice that you've learned?
Make sure you have the right people holding the net.
Mm,
You're going to jump. You're going to want to jump. As you jump, there's going to be a net below you.
yeah,
It's going to be your partners. It's going to be your networking partners.
yeah,
It's going to be your vendors. And at each corner of that net is going to be somebody that you like, know, and trust.
yeah.
Make sure that you like, know, and trust the person holding that corner of the net just enough to make the jump.
That's a huge one, man. Thank you for that one. That is one that I haven't heard yet. And, you know, if one of those lets go, that just adds a huge strain. That net could collapse if you don't have the right people holding that net. So that is awesome. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that one.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for sitting with us today. I love learning your startup story. We're good friends here and outside of this. I appreciate you being on, bud. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Look out for this next episode coming soon. Thanks, guys.
Take care.